think I might be going crazy. I hit my head really hard, and I woke up in this alternate universe. And now I have a gay sidekick who's setting gay rights back like 100 years.
I love working the legs.
Jesus!
A favorite romantic comedy trope and a least favorite? Well, you know, having a gay best friend that exists only to support the leading lady doesn't seem like it's such a wonderful thing to put out there into the universe, so I don't love that one. All of them seem to suggest that a person is not complete until someone else saves them. And that is a pretty common, consistent trope, as if to suggest that you are not whole until someone else shows up and fixes you. And it's in almost all of them, even like The Proposal. Like, she's a workaholic that needs a cool guy to loosen her. It's like, that's just so fucked up. And so, I don't like that, and neither did Rebel, and that's why she wanted to make this movie, and it's her first thing producing it. Tropes that I love a musical number. I also watched 80 of these movies before I made it. I watched every romantic comedy made from 1988 until 2007, and there's some real weird tropes that no one knows exist, like Shellfish.
The Crab. Did you see that movie?
Romantic comedy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, well, they're in all of them. I mean, How to Lose a Guy, Failure to Launch, Sleepless in Seattle. It's so strange. I love the idea that people always fall in love when it's raining or snowing or hailing. Any kind of precipitation seems to be some version of the moment when people have to fall in love. I think that's a kind of a pretty loaded one if you talk to Freud, I'd say. Some wetness coming down from the heavens.
You know, romantic comedies tend to get a bad rap, and I think that's sometimes because they're associated with women. Or they seem, you know, fluffy and silly. Did you ever have to wrap your head around, as a guy, sort of why people like these movies?
The first thing is, yes, romantic comedies are generally associated with women and not taken seriously. But what's strange about them is that generally men have directed almost all of them. So they're almost like male fantasies for women, which is also not helpful, I would say. I think that one of the things that's great, though, about the genre is that they're almost like, they're one of the only genres that are a celebration of life and the joy in life, you know? The beautiful parts of life. There's not a lot of other genres that you can go to that's their bread and butter, you know? And so that's, I think, what's so great about them. A movie like Notting Hill is so beautiful because it makes you feel a shared humanity again. You know, you walk out of there and you're like, hey, you know, people are kind of nice. I kind of like love people again. And for me, as a guy watching those movies, I always appreciated that kind of oasis touch point, you know?
Do you have one that you always go to? Like, if you're sick, like when I was sick and when I was little, I would always watch Sleepless in Seattle. Yeah. Like, do you have one that you're like, oh, this is on, I'll just watch it?
I'll say this, just about men and their movies for women. I think they're also unhealthy for guys.
Yes.
In a way, because I know a lot of guys don't like, that's not their go-to movie, but if they get stuck watching a romantic comedy, it also tells guys a false narrative, which is that you've got to be a hunk with long hair, rich, successful, a bit of a jerk, and a little bit arrogant, and that's what a woman is attracted to. And it sort of sets you up on a pretty challenging path if you are not like that.
Like, it sets you up to, like, kind of
It flattens out
fail.
people.
Yes.
It flattens out people, and it sets you off on an antagonistic path. It's not good.
Like, do you have one that you're like, oh, this is on, I'll just watch it?
Probably my top couple of romantic comedies. I love a Notting Hill. I love a Hugh Grant.
Of course.
I love a Hugh Grant. And I love Serendipity, which is, I know some people find that movie frustrating, but I think that's it's a parable about fate. I love it. I think it's really romantic. Peter Chelsom is a kind of a genius. And I love Something's Gotta Give. I think it's also a really smart and deep movie if you watch it again. And you know, they make love for the first time, and then Jack Nicholson has like a 5-minute monologue about mortality. It's incredible. When is that ever gonna fusing love and death literally in a Hollywood movie? Jesus, it's the only genre can do it. And I love Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle. They're just so great. They're so good. And those are probably my tops.
Good morning, beautiful. Last night was amazing.
I don't think we actually did anything and just cut to the next morning.
What?
Just get back here.
Okay. Good morning, beautiful. Last night was amazing. Natalie, I love...